You're somebody who just seems so like in touch with who they are as a person, which I think is why people have always connected to you so much. What can we expect from the new project, from Bad Therapy?
Welcome. I'm Judy Small. Please come in.
Bad Therapy, it's deliciously ridiculous in that it's a very, very dark comedy. The Howards, I play one of the Howards, and my husband is Rob Corddry, the delicious, amazing Rob Corddry. We are married, and my character feels that we should go to some therapy. But truthfully, we're totally in love and everything's going quite well. She's having some weird suspicions about her daughter and her husband and how he's looking at her. So we decided to go to therapy, and this therapist really quite quickly tries to ruin our lives.
There's this new couple, the Howards, typical LA couple. Their problems are very ordinary, as is she.
I don't feel satisfied.
Why are you here today, Bob?
Yeah, Susan pretty much dragged me here.
We can all use an escape into the ridiculous right now.
Definitely that. and really, I think you'll laugh a lot. It's a fun ride, but it's also just that perfect weird flavor,
We're also so excited for the Babysitters Club reboot. When are we going to get to see that? Because I don't know how quarantine's affected everything.
It's coming, I think, sometime in May.
Oh, okay, good. So it's totally wrapped. You guys were done filming everything.
Yeah. No, we're done. And I believe we have our big, I believe it becomes available in May. Yeah.
What was it like bringing that franchise back to life?
My head is usually in, the kind diet and the kind mama and the world of making healthier choices. And so my brain is always sort of in that direction. So I never knew about these books. I never knew about any of it. When I was a little girl, I was reading Virginia V.C. Andrews instead. So I don't know if that makes me twisted or what, but that's what I was reading. When I was asked to do this and I learned that it was such a beloved thing, I was really excited about that. It's always fun to do something that people are very, care so much about and bring it back. That's fun. So
what do you think people will think of it? How will they receive it, especially the fans of the series?
It's so good. I saw it with my son and it's so good. It's so delightful. The content as a parent, you want your kid, if you're allowing your child to watch any media, I try to really, really limit it to ideally 0. And then occasionally, I'm human, it happens. Yeah. When I do, I want him to watch something that is not those annoying voices that are mean and, just like very base sounding in terms of like I don't know. I want something pure and special and lovely. And this show, for me, when I hear him here, when we were watching it, the voices are all so sweet. All these girls are so empowered. They're little entrepreneurs. My daughter, the lead girl, Sophie Grace, who plays Christy, she's such a feisty, controlling but loving, and the way that they all communicate with each other, the little girls. The show is really about having this deep friendship, which I know that the girls when I grew up were not like this. Okay. And the girls these little girls are so lucky to have this. I mean, of course it's not real, but I hope that it's real out there, that they have these relationships where they communicate and they say, that hurt my feelings when you did this, and this is what we think of this, and they just grow and learn together. It's really beautiful.
It sounds like you think people are going to love it.
I do. It really made my heart so happy watching it, and it made me laugh a lot. The little girls are delicious to watch. And my son, who's almost 9, was obsessed. So he just can't wait for more and wants to see it all. And, he's a boy, so that's pretty great that this little boy is totally unfazed by watching a bunch of girls do really great things.
It's really cool that he could watch this project with you. I don't know how many of your other movies he's seen, if anything. Like, when will he watch Clueless?
No, you know what? I made the oopsie doopsies. I let him watch Clueless because Clueless was they had it at the cemetery, and there were 4,000 people watching it together, and I went to present it, and I thought, this is one of those opportunities where I don't know where he'll get to see this experience again. So I did invite him, and we laid under the stars on a blanket and pillows watching the movie together, and it was divine. I would not have chosen for him to see it that early, but that was a special thing. I don't think he's seen anything else.
What did he think of Clueless?
He saw Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Oh, okay. What did he think of Clueless? Does he ever quote any of your very famous lines from that movie now?
Wow.
You guys talk like grown-ups. Oh, well, this is a really good school.
He doesn't quote it, but he'll bring little things up. I'm trying to think of what he said about it. He said some funny things that are sort of escape. Oh, well, he wrote for me what on my Instagram. I posted this at one point. One night we were laying in bed and he wrote Clueless Part 2 and where Cher would be. And it was unbelievable what he thought.
Where would Cher be, according to Bear?
She was an alcoholic. But he didn't say those words. He was like, she drinks a lot. And maybe she's a makeup artist, like a professional makeup artist. And it was just,
God.
The way his mind was going about it was really killing me. The biggest thing he took away from the movie when he saw it was the kiss, because you don't think about it. He hadn't really seen a kiss like that. And so from then on, he's been kissing me, trying to kiss me like that, like really just grabbing me and like trying to get, I just keep my mouth closed, but he tries to get his like tongue in there, he's really, because that's how he saw. And I was like, oh no, this is why you don't.
Oh my God, I love it. Is he ever, I know you guys had this unforgettable experience together. I don't know how much has he met Paul Rudd or Donald or any of those people?
No.
Okay, because then you'd be seeing the guy who kissed mommy like that.
Ew, get off of me. Ugh, as if.
It really is just wild to me how much people still quote that movie. When people come up to you, what do they say to you the most? And maybe what's your all-time favorite line?
I love when, well, it's not my line, but I love when Brittany Murphy says, you're a virgin, can't drive. I love that. I really like, in my life, sometimes for fun, to make myself laugh, I'll say, oops, my bad. Because, there are things that you do and you go, well, that happened. Also, in my mind, the line, well, you see how picky I am about my shoes and they only go on my feet.
You see how picky I am about my shoes and they only go on my feet.
More people just say, I know you hear this all the time, but I just love Clueless so much. So that's what I hear the most.
So 25 years, does that blow your mind a little bit? Did you have any idea when you were making the movie that 25 years later it would still be such a cult favorite?
I don't think I was thinking about anything in the future when I was 18 years old. I had no idea. I just knew it was an exciting part and that Amy Heckerling was such a good filmmaker. And I was really excited to take that on.
But it's like when I had this garden party for my father's birthday, right? I said RSVP because it was a sit-down dinner. But people came that did not RSVP. So I was totally bugging. I had to haul ass to the kitchen, redistribute the food, squish in extra place settings. But by the end of the day, it was the more the merrier. And so, if the government could just get to the kitchen, rearrange some things, we could certainly party with the Haitians.
Do you remember a lot of the script? Is it burned in your brain?
Well, not the script. I don't really remember any of it. I just remember these little lines. And then this, I have seen it enough over the years, not many times, but when I saw it, for example, with Bear a few years ago at the screening, I remember it was with Mona May, the costume designer, because I invited her and we were together, and seeing her costumes come on, I was, yes, because they're like their own magic that for each entrance the costume makes,
100%. So could we ever get a Clueless sequel, even if it wasn't Bear's script?
I don't know. I don't think Amy Heckerling's down for that at all.
She just wants to leave it as it is, or what's the reason?
Yeah. Yes. You'd have to ask her, but yes.
Now you're bringing back Babysitters Club, so I'm sure you're going to get the question all the time of, well, would you bring back Clueless? Would you reinvigorate that franchise as a series or in some other way? Yeah,
it's not in my hands, if Amy came to me and said I have, or I think what's really hard about Clueless to redo it is that Cher learns how to become a whole human. In the beginning, she's so materialistic and, she's sweet and she has a good heart, but she's just all over the place, right? And by the end, she finds this good nature in herself that makes her more centered and more different. So the fun part of Clueless is in all the meat of the movie. So it's where do you pick her up? Do you pick her up from the evolved self, or do you pick her up from she's relapsed and now she's back to her old ways. You know, I don't know where you go.
As Bear says, maybe she's an alcoholic and we gotta do an intervention.
I mean, it's a good idea.
It really is a good idea. Bear, potentially a screenwriter, I don't know.
What were you just telling me? I heard you just say something about like, that if you ate unhealthy.
Then I would just lay in bed and like do boring stuff, and then it would give up my dreams to be like rapper, monster truck driver probably, and yeah.
Do you see that in him? Do you see him ever going into Hollywood? Because you entered it all pretty young.
I did enter it really young. I don't know what he'll be. I'm just let him go. He's so you know, what his career path will be changes about every 6 months. So, you know, right now he wants to be a monster truck driver, rapper, restaurant owner all over the world, activist. That's what it is today.
I have a little surprise for you. If you don't mind, I'm going to share my screen with you really quick. I interviewed literally 2 days ago Donald Faison and Zach Braff because they're doing a new podcast. So Donald had a question he wanted me to ask you.
They're so silly.
Ask her if she remembers taking me out on my birthday, my 21st birthday, and ask her where we went. I remember it. She doesn't remember it.
So do you remember it? No?
We were all in Chicago together, Paul Rudd, Breckenmeyer, and Donald Faison, and we had this wonderful time together. It was so fun.
The reunion.
Yeah, the reunion. And we were on stage together, but we also hung out, went out to dinner and all this. We had so much fun together. But we were on stage during this interview, and every story they told about the movie, I had no memory of whatsoever. And Donald said, you know, remember we were at my birthday and we went here, and I think he said I took him there, and I was just like, I have zero memory of that. I don't think I was there.
To Jones, and that you guys saw like there were other celebrities there. You had some sightings.
Nope. And then Paul at some point turned to me and goes, "Do you remember making the movie?" I said, "I don't think so."
Why? What did you block it? Why?
Well, I think part of it is that they were all on vacation. Like they were all living together, having fun together. They worked on that movie, I'm sure, like twice a week, I'm guessing. I was there, you know, 15 hours a day, every single day. So I think that I was just like working, what? Working, you know? So I don't think that I had the same shooting experience that they did.
You were like, guys, I was actually making the movie.
Or I was just traumatized. I have no idea. I just have no memory of that birthday party, and I apologize greatly.
Well, you know, I'm like you. I kind of, you know, you were so, I don't remember high school, you know, and that was kind of where you were at then.
Yeah, you just have these some memories that stick out in your mind, right? And it's like,
do you have one favorite memory, one, even if it was a scene you always loved filming, that will always stick with you?
I remember tons of making that movie. I'm teasing when I say, I mean, I remember being in those scenes, but sometimes I don't know if I remember being in them or if I just remember it because I saw it. But I do. I remember all of the scenes. If I think of the movie, I remember, you know, I do remember the stuff. But what was my favorite? I don't know. I remember a scene with Donald where he was where we were shooting
on the freeway.
Well, that scene was so fun. Oh my God, that was really great. I remember seeing him outside. We were all sitting outside of, I think it was a scene where we were picking up Stacey Dash, Dion, at her house or something in the car. I don't even know if this made it into the movie, but I just remember Donald being so silly and us all just being like, hurry! Like, he's so fun. He's such a lovely man, Donald.
Were you at all nervous for that kiss with Paul Rudd?
Don't remember. Nervous or not?
Everybody also wanted me to ask you if there's any. Probably. He's a good looking guy.
Oh, it's such a nice kiss, I'm sure, if I could remember.
Oh, you don't remember the kiss?
No, I remember. I just don't remember the feelings I had around it because I was in Cher at that moment, so I'm sure I loved it. And Paul's delicious, so how could you not?
So it was a good kiss.
I mean, it looks good.
Everybody also wanted me to ask you if there's any update on Masters of the Universe and the release date for that.
I don't know anything about the release date of that. Yeah.
All right. Well, how are you doing during quarantine?
In general, I'm just so grateful that we're healthy and happy, and my heart goes out to those who are suffering and who are ill or have lost someone. We've been doing these cool things on Instagram where we're raising money on this GoFund project for, getting the necessary equipment to the hospitals that they need. And also food, supporting people with food who are food insecure and on the front lines. So doing lots of different things. My pal, Christian Siriano, the genius designer, has turned his entire place into a mask factory. So we've been raising funds for that, and he's turning out like 600 a day, which is incredible. So just really supporting all of those things. And I'm lucky that, lucky or unlucky, but I'm no longer with my son's dad. He lives down the street. So we kind of pass him back and forth. So I get a few hours a day to focus on work, because otherwise I think the days when it's just him and I all day long, it's magical when I don't have work to do, right? Because then we can jump rope and we can go on walks and we can paint and, knit and read and take baths and all the wonderful things that we get to do. But if you have work to do as well, then you're like, oh. We've been both enjoying having back and forth, and on those days it really works.
I keep thinking so many people are in that situation. So how did you approach it? Because some people are quarantining or isolating to a certain level different than other people. So did you guys kind of have a talk of, here's how we want to approach like quarantining and all that?
No. we just flow around here. Like, like I said, he lives so close to me that I can walk to his dad's house. And so we just figure it out every day how it would work best for our family. And it works really well like that.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys are in a good place with that. You're on the same page.
Oh yeah, so great. It really couldn't be better. I'm so lucky.
I love hearing that. Well, what do you think makes it so good?
Because we both love our kid beyond belief and want him to have the best possible life, and we just flow really well together. So it's good.
Well, not everybody can. So I love hearing when people.
Yeah.
We have a very quick Zoom round because we're on Zoom. Okay. What is your go-to quarantine look?
There's no look. Pajamas for days.
What's been your biggest quarantine struggle?
There's not enough time in the day. I have zero. People talk about boredom. They obviously don't have children. I have no idea. There's not enough time in the day. Plus there's so many projects I want to do. So I'm just constantly not enough time in the day.